Hey there, Cosmic Nuts and Cosmic Naughties, and welcome to another Slab City update. If you're new here, my name's Cos, and I do weekly vlogs about my life in Slab City. So if you're into that sort of thing, you should probably hit that subscription button. I also do live streams on a fairly regular basis where I connect with my subscribers. So if you're into that sort of thing, make sure you hit the notification bell so you are alerted when I do that sort of thing. So, with that, let's get down to what I did this week. And really, we're going to talk about one thing and one thing only because it was a pretty big deal. Times have been a little hard in the Ecovillage. Donations for meat in your mouth are not what they once were. So I was hungry and I made some poor decisions. And I became an international drug mule for a taco and a bottle of soda. I also documented that so that you guys could see what I do to put food in my belly. So we arrived at the U.S. border town, Coachella, California in the afternoon. You know, we don't have pesos here, so some currency was exchanged. And then we did the park and walk over because, you know, we've all seen Zane Green cross the border, so this should be a piece of cake, right? Let me tell you, Zane Green makes this shit look easy. So, as we were walking into Mexico, the Mexican custom agent profiles us, pulls me and my amigos over, and, you know, asks us what we're doing in Mexico. And we told him, you know, we're going to go over and have some lunch, just be over there for a little bit, then we're going to head out. At which time he asked us for our passports, and we inform him that we do not have passports. And he tells us, you know what, without a passport you can't come into Mexico, you gotta go back to the US. So with my head hung low, I spun around and I started to make a beeline for back where we came, which was the wrong way. You can't get through that way because of the little turnstile things. And he told us, you know, which way to go. And as we were going that way, he goes, you only going to be in an hour? And we're like, 2 hours max, you know, we're going to enjoy ourselves while we're there. And, you know, we didn't know where we were going to eat. And, you know, of course, we got to make the drug transaction. So he said, all right, 2 hours max. And that next time to have passports or we weren't going to be let in. So, you know, having now just snuck into Mexico without a passport, without having to bribe an official, and much more importantly, without getting cavity searched, we made our way into Mexico. Now, it did not take long for the kingpin, you know, of this run, to find a cheap place to throw some food down our throats. Now, after we got finished eating, I did joke around with the kingpin about how, you know, my asshole didn't get fingered and that, you know, maybe could we get a hooker. His reply to that, there still is the U.S. border crossing. So, yeah, no hookers for us. So the kingpin makes a quick run into the store, and as I'm standing there out on the corner, some gentleman came up to me with a pack of rolling papers, and it kind of had a cartoon figure on it. I was like, is this you? I was like, no, that ain't me. And then I pulled out one of my stickers and I said, but this is me. And I gave it to him. And he was like, oh, cool. I just thought maybe this was you. I was like, no. And just after handing the sticker to him, the kingpin was coming out of the store. And I was like, that isn't me, but maybe it's him. So he goes over and you know, does the same old thing. Well, turns out that was our connect. And he led us all through the streets of Mexicali to get to our connection. And, you know, the reality is when we got there, the deal just wasn't, you know, good enough. So the kingpin walked away. Luckily for us, the connection, you know, knew a couple of other places to go. So he took us to some other place, and at the next location, the deal was right. So money and drugs were in exchange, and now it's up to me to do my part in this whole thing, and that is to get these drugs across the border. Having not crossed the border in a very long time, I was not familiar with these machines that scanned your document. So as I was trying to figure it out, the U.S. custom agents hollered at us, passport or ID? And I was like, ID. And he's like, you're in the wrong lane, and pointed to go over, and went over to the other lane. And, you know, of course, my fellow amigos followed, because none of us had an ID. And then as we were waiting in line, I noticed a rather tall, big gentleman with black latex gloves come over and open up his own aisle just as I'm about to go through. So I get up there, I give him my ID. He asked, you know, what were you doing in Mexico? I explained what we were doing in Mexico, you know, went over for lunch, blah, blah, blah. At which point he says, can you follow me? Now, the whole time I had been there, nobody was asked to follow or be pulled out of the line. So this rather large gentleman drags me over to a spot, tells me where I need to stand, and I did so. I stood there, and he opened up the door and hollered my name in. Minute passed or so, and he comes out and informs me that I have a warrant for failure to appear in some state, and that if I'm ever there, that I should go take care of it and move me on my way. So with that, I waited for my buddies to come out, and, you know, none of them had any problems. Concluded our international drug mule tour, because we got the drugs across. And yes, nicotine is a drug, and coming through the border, you're only allowed to bring one carton over per day. So we went in so our buddy could get more than one. Anyways, I'm sorry if that was a little misleading and clickbaitish, but hey, I hope you enjoyed. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz.
Send Carl some money on PayPal so he can buy himself something to eat. Then he won't have to sell his body to Albanian men on the street. We're broke hippies living out in the desert, no money and no shoes. And he may smoke the marijuana, but at least he won't spend it